Hey everyone, this is Chris Strickland, and I've been putting this video off because I haven't really felt camera ready lately. I actually told myself I was going to give myself a break from YouTube and just speaking in general, because I'm at a point in my life where you can hear it in my voice. I'm just not ready to talk, but I need to get this off my chest so I can move on, And it's basically just telling my story of 2020. I know it's been a crazy year for everybody. I've never seen this shit before. And we knew this was coming. I think everybody knew what 2020 was gonna bring, in a sense. Like, we knew shit was gonna get crazy, but I didn't think we expected things to affect us on such a personal level. And even if we did, we didn't know what to expect out of that. So this is kind of my story, and I could even go back to last year, starting on my birthday on August 18th of last year. That's when shit just kicked into gear, and it's literally been non-stop since. Like, nothing has slowed down until now. So I'm going to just stop and reflect, and maybe you could take something from my story and, relate to that with your own personal journey. But basically, for the past year, I have definitely been living in the student role more so than the teacher role. In another sense, I have played the teacher with certain people in my life. I've had amazing opportunities to help people, connect with certain archangels that where they'd never experienced that before. Those were really cool moments. I myself have met, wow, I want to say around 30 archangels just this year. It's been really crazy. And I'll just let you know, it's not like a walk in the park to channel these beings, because they are so energetically huge, like just crazy. And if you're not ready for that, you are going to look insane. And I won't assume I haven't looked insane at some point or another. But I also understand what was happening, and I don't judge myself for it. And they've kind of backed off. Like I said, I had around 30 archangels following me everywhere for a few months. And I was really heavy. Like, yeah, some of these archangels that I was, I guess, destined to meet, I had never heard of. I'd never heard in literature, history, ever. There was about 4 or 5 of them that were just kind of new to the whole human experience. Like, even they didn't know how to really deal with humans. So that was an experience. But I also had to understand that they are my family spiritually. So no matter what kind of energy I felt from them, I had to keep that sense of family there, But it was really weird, to say the least. This year, we've obviously been dealing with this dance between Pluto and Saturn, which is terrifying. And it's still happening. We still have more conjunctions to look forward to. Not to mention Mars is acting all crazy, and I'm in my Mars returns. But, at this point, I'm ready. So this year, I finally settled down with a roommate, and this particular person was having a lot of spiritual problems. So I kind of knew why I was there. It was not an easy experience, because you just kind of feel like you're pushing your beliefs on somebody, when that's not really what you want to do, but you're just trying to show them this other side. So it was a tricky situation, but I did make a lot of good progress. But then things started getting crazier. I was fired from my job for no particular reason. I wasn't given a reason anyway. It was all just kind of hush hush. And it felt a lot like a big conspiracy, because there were so many people involved against me that I was really close to. I looked at these people like my family, like my soul family, and now they're all just gone. And I look back at it and it's like, how does that happen? You know, not one person stuck around to make sure I was okay. It's just like they all just gave up, which kind of tells me there was a larger force at work. And I'm not going to call that force good or evil. All I know is that force really snatched everything important to me away from me. And I'm still processing it. I mean, it just happened this year, so it really hasn't even sunk in all the way. I can't just lay it all off, lay it all out and just be like, okay, that happened, let's move on. Because I've committed so much of myself to a lot of what I lost. So it's unrealistic to think I can just start over on a new leaf or start a new book. It's not even like a new chapter, it's like a whole new book. Like, how do you do that? Even though I have made a lot of proactive changes into setting out on my own journey, I know it's a part of my journey to help people, and I am realizing that, and I'm starting that journey and committing to it with all my heart. So hopefully it goes in a good direction soon. And I'll explain these bandages on me in a minute. So when I moved to Auburn and I settled down, I was still working for about a month of living there, and with the company I'd been with for years and years now. And I was also dealing with a severe case of PTSD after a lot of things that had happened to me over the past few years. Like the panic attacks were just coming in a little too frequently. It just wasn't normal. And I really just had to start taking better care of myself. Start nurturing myself a lot more. And it's still a struggle to this day. Sorry. So yeah, the entire summer of 2020 has been ridiculously stressful. I've been unsure in just about every aspect of my life, with all the way down to people close to me, like who's really there, who's really gonna stay there, who's really got my back, who really believes in me after the fact that I believe in myself. And it occurred to me, nobody really did. Because deep down, I'm very aware of myself, and I know why I'm here. And it was really hard to get myself to a place where I could believe that I don't have to prove anything to the world. I'm not supposed to prove anything to the world. I'm not supposed to make you believe something about me. I'm not supposed to do a certain thing. That was one of the biggest lessons this year, to just remember who I am and go from there. Fuck the bullshit. Fuck what people think. People are gonna think what they're gonna think, no matter what. So why try to change their mind? And it's crazy because all these like spiritual gurus around me are in my ear like, well, you can't just do this and do this. It's like, actually I can, and I am. And I am. And I believe the people that believe in me will show up. But I really found that connection with my Archangel family. And I realized, wow, they're really here for me more so than I thought, because there's only been certain Archangels who have really made themselves known in my life, whereas ones you would think that are always there were never really there. Like Michael, for example. I'd never had like a personal, as far as I know, I never had a personal like experience with Michael, and I actually always had this like weird beef with Michael, like until recently, where he came to me this year and was very obviously there and made himself known, and he's a lot cooler than I previously assumed him to be. So, yeah, we'll start in July. So, in July, the Archangels told me I needed to get off of my antidepressants, which I was like, okay, I don't like them anyway. But following that, you know, my anxiety medicine was running out. My psychiatrist had left the state. I was running out of like these medications I was on, and it was really starting to hit me like, whoa, I should have been listening. Like, I should have got off these medications. I should have stopped drinking. Like, I should have stopped doing this, that, because now it's all just falling on me. And that's what happened. And it really just fucked me up to the point of I was driving my roommate's motorcycle to Montgomery to a doctor's appointment, and on the way there, going 60 on the interstate, these three 18-wheelers like fly by me, and the wind was just, it just overpowered me and just flung me off the bike, and I just violently tumbled down the fucking interstate. I came very close to death. That could have killed me. A lot of people are telling me like I shouldn't be alive, but I'm alive. I have a big ass hole in my leg. So I had like from here like down to here, and here down to here. This hole, like where it's red right there, this was all like road rash. Just road rash fucking all over my body. It hurt like hell. A hole in my leg like this big, like on my right leg on the top. Every day I get my dressing changed, I'm screaming and crying. It's so horrible. Just imagine like an inch deep wound where you can see inside your body. I can't even look at it or I'll pass out. When it's being changed, I'm screaming. I can't even do it. My mother has to do it. And I have to believe it's for good reasons. We're just gonna see where things go. But right now, I'm at home, back home with my mother. It's probably gonna take about a year to heal my leg. I'm on crutches, can barely get around. Still have a couple surgeries to go through as far as my wound on my leg. I have to get a skin graft where they take skin from different parts of your body, and yeah, that's how much skin I lost. And a lot of like cool stories, like in movies, have come to me that the Archangels have showed me and wanted me to watch. It was really funny because I was talking to a close friend, and this was before my wreck. And this was like, I want to say the beginning of July. She tells me I should watch the Frozen movies, and I'm like, I'm not really big on the cartoons, especially like, you know, the new ones. I'm more of an old school Disney guy. But she told me I should watch the Frozen movies, and when she said that, like, I kept getting Snow White and the Huntsman. I haven't watched that, and I've always wanted to watch it since I saw the previews come out years ago, and I never got around to watching it. So I took that as a sign, like, okay, maybe I can watch The Huntsman, and it'll be like the same story. And my roommate, Jason, has this tremendous movie collection. So I go in there and I'm like, hey, have you ever seen The Huntsman? Because I'm getting that I should watch it for some reason. He's like, yeah, I actually have it. And I'm like, oh, badass. He opens the Blu-ray. Okay, the movie's not in there, but instead, the movie that is in there is Maleficent. And I'm like, I guess we're watching Maleficent. Obviously, that's where we're being led to. And oh my god, I've seen Maleficent. Like, I know the story, but I needed to rewatch it for some reason. So we started, And we get about 20-30 minutes into the movie, and I am bawling my fucking eyes out because I'm like, oh my god, this is exactly what's happening in my life. The story, both movies, there's two of them, both of those stories just, wow. Like, you know, in the second movie, it's like she gets shot down and her Fae family comes and rescues her, and I immediately noticed the huge wings, and I'm like, Archangels, holy shit. This is the story that I'm supposed to go by. And I actually bought the second movie. I hope I did, wow, 20 minutes. So I'm going to wrap things up here because I'm just ranting, but that was my year. That's where I'm at.